This is 5 on your side at noon. Focused on you.
Thanks so much for being here at noon on this Friday. I'm Kay Quinn. Get ready to feel the heat this weekend. We've turned the corner from spring into summer, and you'll really notice the difference the next few days. Make sure you plan ahead if you're spending an extended time outside. Meteorologist Gary Frank joins us now with the Weather First forecast, and yeah, you can feel the humidity. I feel like for the first time this season.
Yeah, it's been a couple, especially in the morning where it's 70 for a low, and that's at 5 in the morning, and so that's what we're going to start to add to it. It's not as bad as it could be much worse, but we're starting to, I think that the core of the humidity this weekend is really going to time out in the morning, probably Sunday now, which is good news for our heat index when we're not going to feel like 105 for a consistent period outside, right? So that's a positive. We also need a little bit of rain. One of the reasons we haven't seen much humidity is because it hadn't rained at all. One usually comes with the other. We have haze still. It's still that air quality alert, and our temperatures are in the mid to upper 80s already at this hour, 87 Lake St. Louis, 84 in Wildwood. So it is pretty nice, but we are going to look off to the northwest. And you see a couple of these storms, they fizzle out, but they're all a part of this little wave that's going to generate a pretty good wide area of severe weather off to the west today. But that may also start to work its way in portions of Saturday. The rest of this evening, we're dry. We're headed for the low 90s, no problem at all. And the next few days, we're dry most of the weekend. It's the hottest of the year, but we've got a severe threat on the way. And that's what we'll talk about as we reach the 90s later on this afternoon, Kay.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Gary. Major road work begins this weekend, and it could affect your travel plans. Prepare for a huge detour in St. Charles County. A section of Interstate 70 will be completely shut down. 5 on your side's Alex Fees reports from the Cave Springs exit.
MoDOT crews will shut down Interstate 70 in both directions here at Cave Springs in St. Charles County this weekend. That's this weekend and this weekend only. This is progress in process. We'll show you what it looks like on the map here. The shutdown starts at 10 o'clock tonight. Crews will close down all lanes of Interstate 70 at Cave Springs to take down an old bridge. Northbound and southbound traffic on Cave Springs Road will be closed between West Clay and Veterans Memorial Parkway. Eventually, we'll see a new diverging diamond interchange here, along with other new road signals and more ramps. All weekend, drivers will have to get off the interstate, be rerouted through the exit ramps before getting back on the interstate. Officials are asking you to avoid the area if possible. It's all part of the $62.4 million project from Cave Springs to Fairgrounds to make the area less congested and safer. MoDOT officials say Monday through Friday, roughly 32,000 vehicles a year travel on Cave Springs here. Weekday traffic on I-70 is higher than that. It amounts to roughly 120,000 vehicles a year. MoDOT's project director says they're putting in a single-point urban interchange that will help keep things moving.
Converting these interchanges will help traffic and efficiency and safety of the interchanges. These were built back in the early 80s, and since then the population in St. Charles has grown and the infrastructure isn't able to keep up with population growth.
And how about some good news for drivers? The St. Charles County interchange Route 94-364 is open after 18 months of work. You'll see a new diverging diamond interchange there as well, along with other new road signals and more ramps. Those diverging diamond interchanges, that road construction seems to be all the rage these days. Reporting in St. Charles County, Alex Fees, 5 on your side.
Right now, St. Louis city leaders are voting on an historic water rate hike. It comes after the city saw nearly 20 water main breaks in just the past few weeks. If passed, Board Bill 49 would be one of the largest increases ever. Leaders continue to blame the water main breaks on the city's failing infrastructure. That's why they're pushing to raise rates by an historic 40%. This means residents would see an increase of $5 a month on their bills. If lawmakers give it the green light, residents could see higher bills as early as July. Investigators trying to figure out what caused a deadly explosion at the Winchester ammunition plant in East Alton. A primer truck exploded and killed a male employee Thursday afternoon. The explosion was so powerful it could be felt for miles. Right now, the employee's name has not been released. A 9-year-old boy is recovering after being shot. St. Louis police say it was an accident. The boy was with his 14-year-old cousin in a home near Wells and Union in North City Thursday afternoon when it all happened. We're told the bullet grazed the 9-year-old's leg. Some St. Louis leaders are asking Missouri Governor Mike Parson to call state lawmakers back to Jefferson City to address gun violence. It comes after last weekend's mass shooting downtown, where young people were seen carrying assault rifles. Thursday, a representative from the governor's office told us that at this time, a special session is not being called to address any topic. That's leaving some local lawmakers frustrated, including Board of Aldermen member Rasheen Aldridge. He recently joined the board after unsuccessfully pushing for tougher gun laws when he was a state representative.
We need support in St. Louis. That support isn't a takeover. That support is listening to the people who stay here, of like the solutions of how do we get to a place where we're not tackling the Second Amendment, but we are putting regulations in place so that it's not easy for people who are mentally ill to get guns. It's not easy for young people to get guns. It's not easy for people to walk around with AK-47s.
Joining us now is
Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft spoke with our Mark Maxwell and says new state gun laws are not the answer and criminals will break laws regardless. Right now, city leaders are considering a proposal to ban people from openly displaying a gun in St. Louis without a concealed carry permit. A catastrophic implosion. That's how the U.S. Coast Guard is saying all 5 men died aboard the Titan submersible on their way to explore the sunken Titanic. NBC's Jay Gray has details from the Coast Guard Command in Boston, Massachusetts.
A day after discovery of debris less than a half mile from the bow of the Titanic wreckage and the confirmation from the Coast Guard that it was in fact pieces of the missing submersible, the questions shift from where it may be to why and how this happened. It is a search not for those 5 men on board, but for evidence and answers. And we know that the remote operated vehicles that have been a part of all of this will remain in the region, mapping out the area, trying to find more evidence of what went wrong. What we have been told by those who have been a part of this operation is that the evidence right now appears to show that there was some type of catastrophic implosion, and that likely the result of a break in the pressure inside that vessel. If that's the case, what most say is that it happened very quickly, and that's bringing at least a bit of comfort to the family members of those inside.
To know that my soulmate didn't feel a moment's pain, that his brain didn't even realize, that's relief.
Now, the Coast Guard says that the operation will continue, that they will continue to try and find whatever they can. No decision yet on whether some of that evidence will make the trip 2.5 miles from the floor of the ocean to the surface. That's the latest here in Boston. I'm Jay Gray. Now back to you.
It's going to be a scorcher this weekend. The important symptoms to know so you can detect heat exhaustion. Goats, llamas, and beer? The reason Grants Farm and the Anheuser-Busch Brewery are throwing a party this weekend.